Jackson Johnson says, worst program of all time in the Big Ten, I would say, comes down to Indiana and Rutgers. All right. Before I give what I think is a pretty definitive answer, and thank you for that, Jackson, you can go to X and vote in our poll that we released yesterday, the worst program in college football history. There it is. And Exploring with Ben's here. Check out the Oregon channel. They did a live show talking Ducks the other night there. Ben and company on the Oregon channel. Check it out. All right. Nobody else had a guess. Nobody else had an opinion on the worst program in the history of the Big Ten. It's Indiana. It's Indiana. If we were here 40 years ago, we would have agreed that it's Northwestern. But Northwestern has been so much better. And I had some people comment back to me that Northwestern should have been on that list, or Northwestern is the worst program of all time, or Northwestern is certainly worse than Iowa State. Okay, first of all, we're not talking about right this second. We're talking about all time. And I was not putting any kind of emphasis on any particular time period, just all of it put together. So, of course, with Kansas State has a horrific all-time record. Horrific. 10 percentage points less than Kansas, the Jayhawks, who have been horrific themselves lately for a long, long time. But Kansas State under Bill Snyder, of course, has elevated quite a bit. So Northwestern, man, in the 80s, they were awful. They were pretty much awful their entire history outside of Ara Parseghian. But this guy was arguing Iowa State against Northwestern, and Northwestern, shoot, they've won 3 Big Ten championships since 1995, 95, 96, 2000. They went to a couple championship games here recently. I know Iowa State had 1 year. But, yeah, when it comes to Big Ten football, Indiana takes it. 418 win percentage all time. 418. Northwestern, 456. It's almost 40 percentage points higher. Rutgers, 492. Now, let's understand that Rutgers, of course, played Big East football against lesser competition for a long, long time. And before that, they were an independent. We'd have to dive into those schedules. But I think it's clearly Indiana, having only won 3 bowl games. 3 bowl games. That's how many bowl games they've won. There are teams like Maryland's won 4 bowl games in a row. We're not talking about Alabama. We're talking about Maryland, 4 in a row. And Indiana's won 3, period.